Hi, some people have been asking questions about threading a needle, and so I figure I'm just going to do a short little video kind of explaining the details of threading your needle, and then I thought people might have questions about tying off, so I'd show that a little more specifically. Alright, threading a needle, you have the needle with the sharp end, and then the other needle has a little hole in it at the top. And I haven't threaded my needle on camera because it's a little tough with my glasses. I wear reading glasses, and so it's not really the right distance from me to see very well. So this may take a few tries. So I have the eye of the needle. I can see through the eye of the needle, and now I will attempt, this wasn't bad, to just put the thread right through the eye of the needle. And it can be a little tight, pulling your thread, adjusting your thread. It's not going to be loose because the needle has a very fine eye that helps it to get through the beads. Alright, and when I say it's a 2-needle design, it means, now this string is shorter, and I put it over blue so you can see that when you cut, you take a 3-foot length or 4-foot length or whatever length you need, and then you cut it, and there are 2 ends to the string, and it means that we want a needle on each end. So I would take, for a 2-needle design, I would take a second needle and put it on the other end. That way I have a loop of string with a needle on each end, and then that your design would start at the fold there, and then you would work up. Alright, so another thing to know is when you are threading your needle, if you're sewing, things like that, people will often wet the thread to get through the needle. I have found that with this type of beading thread that I just take my nails and kind of smooth it out or flatten it, and then it goes through a little easier. So just pinch it down tight and pull through. Sometimes it makes it curve, kind of like the curling ribbon type effect. But that flattens the thread down and makes it easier to go through the eye of the needle. Alright, the next thing I thought I would show you is when I'm talking about tying the knots at the end. Let's see, when both strings end at the base, both strings are there, I will tie them together using a square knot. And so a square knot, it's just, you do left over right, and then you go under and through, and then you go right over left, under and through the hole. And then you pull that tight, and that's a very strong knot. And then I usually, just for good measure, will go left over right again and down through. That way I've got 3, and it makes it nice and sturdy. And then I tuck the ends in through a few beads. So this was one of my designs that I was fiddling around with, of what I like and so forth. So it never got finished off to a bracelet because I kind of was deciding as I went what I liked. So I'm going to show you, I'll show you on this end, what I would do to knot off this. So I will thread this needle again in a minute. Yep. There we go. Alright. So if I were to want to tie a knot here, I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to go in underneath where the string is, pull it out, and then I have a loop there. I will stick the needle up through the loop and pull it down tight. And I will always do that. I just had to lengthen the string, so I pulled the string so there's a shorter thing ending on the other side of the needle. So I will always go through and do it twice. I see a lot of people will go through the circle twice. I have found when I do that, sometimes it makes it harder to get it to lay in flat. Alright, so now I have my knot there. Then I always, if you cut it off here, the string could work its way through the knot. So I take it and I put the string through several beads before I will cut it. And when I put it through the first bead, I will kind of try to pull it so that the knot is lodged on the inside of one of the beads. So then I will just go through a few beads, and I am just following where the thread goes. So if you see here, the thread shows me that it goes through this seed bead next. So I will go through that seed bead next, and then I look, and from this seed bead the thread goes through both this and the other seed beads. So I will just pick a direction, it doesn't really matter. Go through a few more, and then pull it tight, and then that's where I would cut. And in order for that knot to come undone, that thread would have to work its way out of all of these beads and get back there and somehow work its way out of the knot. So I think it's a very secure way of finishing it off. And I always, if I had two ends that I was tying together here, I would string them to different areas so that I have one end cut off right here and the other might get cut off, you know, down here somewhere. So I would thread it through a little bit longer so that I don't have two ends in the same place. It makes it less visually obvious where the thread is. And you just pull it tight and snip very close to the thread. Okay, so those are the basics. If you have any other questions, ask and I will try to answer them. Hope this helped. I'll see you when I do my next bracelet later today. Remember to click subscribe to our channel. That way you will get notified when we put our new bracelets out. Thank you.